Nah, I'm just playing. What's good, bro? Hey, thanks for being here a second time. Inshallah. Thank you, Brody. I really appreciate you being here for a second time. This video is a little special because it will be unlisted in the following week, probably, because it is a prelude, or is that how you say it? Or, an introduction maybe to some of the themes that I will be touching on in the project that I'm working on that I alluded to already in my channel post. And there are a few things that I want to go over with very quickly, and I just want to give you, little bits, little bites, just to hopefully entice you a little bit. The first thing that I want to talk to you about is, appearance. I am, in fact, butt booty naked right now, but you can't really see that. All you can see is, this little box that I've constrained you to, and all around me is darkness. See fucking darkness here, darkness there. But I am naked, in fact. But I bet with a high degree of certainty that you have not thought about my balls while this video has been playing. And now, okay, I am playing a little. But what I mean by that is that you haven't exactly processed the appearance in and of itself when watching this video. Because I believe, and this is a belief, it's not a matter of fact, but I believe that people, by default, don't see things with the cognition of an appearance in mind. When you're looking at me, you just see me. You're taking it at face value that what you're seeing is a faithful representation of who I really am and what I'm really doing, And you don't take the time, perhaps, to consider, unless you're made to do so, to consider the fact that the way that I appear right now to you in some way is different from the way in which I appear to my friends, or the way in which I appear to my dad, or in general, how I appear in real life, as opposed to what I look like in front of a shitty webcam. Because yes, appearance is something which is, it's a product of, I don't want to say society because it's a cliche word, but it is a product of our interaction with other people. And this is very simple, very simply put. If I am naked in my own room and no one's there to see me, I don't really care. I know what my junk looks like. But if there's other people in the room or in the house, and, assuming they don't want to see me naked, doesn't go for everyone, but then I'm going to be concerned about what I look like. I'm going to be concerned immediately about covering myself up. The Genesis story. There's a garden in the middle of the Garden of Eden. There's this tree, the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. And the snake went up to Eve and said, "Hey, did you know if you eat this tree, you'll be like God because you'll know good and evil?" And Eve was like, "For real? But God said, didn't he say that something about don't eat from the?" Nah. It's cool, man. Just eat it. Just eat from it. And she ate from the garden, and she ate from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. And suddenly she looked down and she's like, "Damn, I got titties." And so they covered themselves up, and they were made aware of their own nakedness from the knowledge of good and evil. How fucking crazy is that? What does that mean? Well, there's a billion interpretations, and I'm not a scholar. But what I think that means is that good and evil morality, which is derivative from good and evil, is something which is contingent on our relationship with the other. And what I mean by that is that appearances, they act as mediation between me and the other person, the way in which I dress, but also the way I talk, the way my body language, or any other thing, any other number of things really, communicate something about me without me even having to open my mouth to the other person. If I go to work dressed up as a clown, that says something. I don't know what the fuck that is, but it says something. Okay, and it communicates that often in a way which is much louder and clearer than what we could ever communicate using our own words. And so, the second thing about appearance, I believe that we find ourselves right now in a place, culturally, I would say, where we have grown more and more skeptical We do not trust appearances, fake news, and most especially artificial intelligence, the fact that we can generate someone's voice, just grab someone's fucking voice and make them say whatever we want. It's made us distrust, not, it's made us not trust appearances in the slightest, I would say. And, everything is mediated by these pixels on these screens. Of course, you're not physically seeing me. You're just seeing a bunch of colors that put together, a bunch of red, green, and blue that put together kind of look like me. But the crux of the matter, I think, when talking about these issues, the issue of falsification, of being able to create images which are not real, even though they look real, it's not just that you can create something which looks real and is fake. It's the fact that you can say something for real and have people think that it's fake. It's the fact that being genuine is met with skepticism often. It's the fact that we now are less able to trust each other than ever before. And when we get real with each other, we are more likely to not believe, to be skeptical, to know better, to say, well, it's just the guys, it's just, maybe that person's just trying to get something out of me, or, whatever. And this translates to what I was saying earlier, I write a lot, right? And sometimes I post what I write to other people. And more than once, maybe like 5 times already, I've been accused of using ChatGPT to write what I wrote, what I actually wrote. This is the opposite of what every fucking guy on this earth is talking about, which is why I want to talk to you about it so much. Is that everyone, for God's sake, every fucking news outlet talking to me about Gaza or fucking Ukraine and Russia's propaganda machine. Everyone talks about how easy it is to create fake news, but no one talks about the fact that you can say things and you can really mean something and people won't believe you. I'm getting fucking fired up talking about this because it's so crucial to how we relate to other people. If you can't trust another person, if you can't trust what they say, because there's always the chance that it might be, it might be that it was created by an artificial intelligence, then the main problem is that you don't trust the other person. It's not just about the fact that it's fake news. It's that you're not able to establish relationships with other people in a genuine fashion because there's always the chance that what they're saying isn't really what it is. That's what I think is so tragic, really, about this whole problem. And I think the ancient Greeks, and I will be talking about the ancient Greeks a lot on this channel because, hey, fucking gotta love them, bro. They were very wise in this. They knew that the appearance mediates and can say a lot. Okay, let me back down emotionally. Can say a lot about the person. It can say a lot about what's on the inside, actually. And they worshipped the body, quote unquote, but they worshipped the male body in particular because, well, through the agones, the games, there's the athleticism. They saw, okay, let me put it this way. There are 3 verbs in Greek which are all cognate with one another. Oida, which means to know. Eido, which means to see, from which eidomai, which means to be seen. And ideo, idea, you see, idea, form. You see what I'm sort of alluding to? Another example, phenomenon comes from the Greek phenomenon, that which appears. The very word we use in scientific nomenclature to talk about things that are happening, we're using the words that which appears. And we're still here, acting skeptical about what appearance is and saying, well, don't judge a book. Hey, it's a good, as I said, it's a noble, I don't know if I said it in this video because I did a few takes, but it's a noble, sentiment to say, don't judge a book by its cover or whatever. But yet, the fact that we do not trust appearance anymore, I think that we lose out on a lot of what makes us human, essentially. Because, and let me go back to the example of Adam and Eve and the fact that we clothe ourselves. I mean, man, clothing says a lot about who you are. Up until my grandma's generation, I would say, really, men and women used to be clothed. They used to have to abide by very specific codes, let's say, dress codes. I couldn't just go around in a t-shirt or in flip-flops. And this is still quite true in Italy, I would say, more so than in other countries, definitely more so than in America, that's for sure. There's a certain type of way that you have to dress when you go outside. Not that you have to be a model, but you can't go outside in flip-flops, for one thing. People will look at you funny if you go outside in flip-flops. And but going back to my grandma's generation thing, men and women, they had separate dress codes which they had to follow, and they looked a certain way. And my grandpa would go to my dad and ask him why he wasn't wearing a coat, you would say, or a suit, like a proper man's dress when he was going outside. And my dad would laugh because he obviously lived through a different generation than my grandpa. But my grandpa would still ask him every time he went out, why aren't you wearing your suit or your coat? I don't know how to translate this word from Italian. Appearance has definitely undergone a metamorphosis in our society. And I will leave it up to the scientists and to the people who know what they're talking about to work out the problems that pertain to fake news and the like. But I believe there is a lot of wisdom in the knowledge that appearance says a lot. And moreover, it's the only mediation that we have between one person and another. And if we undermine what it is based upon, then ultimately we undermine the trust that we can have for one another. Aside from everything that could ever have to do with technology, just put this aside in your mind for a second. All this talk about robots will steal the fucking world from us and we won't have all this crap. Just think, man. Just think about what you actually deal with through technology in your day-to-day. You're dealing with other people. Okay, you might be doing it through a VR fucking headset. You might be doing it with a fucking whatever, with a phone, with a computer, with a television. It doesn't matter, okay? But whatever the type of mediation it is, you're still dealing with other people, okay? And if you undermine the processes that are able to establish trust between people, such as the way in which they appear, then ultimately you're undermining your capacity to create long-term stable relationships with other people. Because one person is no longer able to trust another and to believe that they come to you in goodwill. Because there's always a number of things that could be gaining from you secretly. And well, better safe than sorry. Just assume that perhaps there's something fake at the bottom of their heart that they're just really good at hiding. And then maybe you won't fall into danger again. I think it's terrible. I think it's doing terrible things to our psychology as a society. I think it's doing terrible things to us as individual people. And yeah, I want to talk about that and a number of other things. This is just one little tiny thing. But I want to talk about a number of other things in my next video. I'm sorry that I have to keep, coming to you and be like, but next time this will happen, and next time this will happen. But, well, for the longest time, I've been, doing this kind of stuff, just like mulling over shit, as I said last time, and like writing stuff and not telling anyone about it. And what would happen eventually is that I would stop and do something else, and no one knew about it in the meantime. See how we always need for someone to be there to see us, you know? Okay, I'm not going to continue, but still. What I want to say is that, see, because you guys requested it, I will be doing more of these update sort of videos, and because again, I said that I will enlist this. They'll sort of act as like little buffers, between one big thing and the other. Just a little catching up with you guys, because I think there's a lot of value in that. And since I covered maybe 10% of what I want to talk about in this video. It's not a loss on my part. It's just a little something. And I hope you whatever, dude. I hope nothing. Just think about it. If you agree, if you disagree, let me know in the comments.